Hello YouTubers, Chilios2222 here. Was not feeling it today, but I got a new knife and I figured let's make a video. Pretty cool knife, so I'm stoked about that. Honestly did not want to get this particular knife. I did want a duplicate, which I've done before, of my older knife to give as a gift that I have reviewed, of the UK mod knife. United Kingdom, I learned the difference between UK, Britain, and all that good stuff. You can look that up online if you're curious about all the different names. But this was for the Ministry of Defense. Let's keep it at that, whether we argue Britain or UK, political divisions, what have you. But they do have a military, right? We all know that. United Kingdom has a great military. They always have had a great military. And they make some really interesting military items, one of which I like very, very much. So the one I like the most is not this one, J. Adams Sheffield Crow's Foot, with their stock number on it and shiny finish. Very nice sheath that I'm used to. The one I do like the best is my old chopper. Kind of a battleship gray finish. This one particularly marked 1993, and I'm assuming that's Adams, also JA. If you look at the stock numbers, 1278214. I almost thought that was a B at one point, but if you look at this guy, I think there's no mistake on there. 1278214. And I sent this photo, well, not this photo, but a photo of this knife to my very good friend. I will leave his name out, but he is the first recipient of the older style knife. He took a look at this and he was like, wow, that looks great. So me, I'm not enthralled or enthused, whatever the word is, about that bright finish, but I am enthused about the differences in these knives and why those differences exist. I've seen a couple versions of this blade in a shiny finish and also a matte finish, and I have to tell you, I prefer the matte finish, if I didn't tell you that already. I like the battleship gray finish, whether it be a handgun or any type of military tool. But I wanted to show you the difference on this particular one I received. I'm assuming this is a legit piece. It looks very legit. It feels very legit. I have not weighed the exact weight, but boy, if they're off, it's really, really close. The blade and everything, as far as the way that the blade is shaped, and there's a particular name for that when they cut this. I think it's called a Scandi, but I'm not a blade sharpening expert, but I do see the differences in a flat knife versus this type of blade. You can see this on both sides, and so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but I do see the cut there, and I've watched a few YouTube videos. But you experts out there can tell me, what type of grind that is, I guess. And you see this on my original one. Now, another couple things I noticed, actually, compared to this original one. Take a look at the hilt on there. You may need to freeze frame it or really take a look at it. And I'm referring to this piece, whether it's called a hilt or a handguard. And the gap that's there, you can see where the sharp part of the blade is, and there's a little space inside there. I don't know if you can really get a finger on there safely. I don't think so. But take a look at that. I'm giving you a moment here. You can see how it's attached to. And I believe that's like a solder. But a smart person out there could tell me if that's like a solder or a weld. I'm thinking it's metal that was actually heated and dripped on there because of the color, the way it looks, and in fact, I've seen solder before. You see that attachment? Alright, so now I want to show you this. Now, if you can freeze frame and see any differences in this piece, let me know. I mean, I'm sorry this video may not be most perfect for that, but that's the newer style blade I just received. And this did come in a military wrapper, which is like a vapor barrier type wrapper. And that's pretty much the only way this was packaged. It did not come with a box that said Sheffield, nothing like that. It just came in a like a vapor barrier, very dark piece of paper. It kind of looks like the color of cardboard, but the consistency of like a thick wax paper. And I'm sorry I discarded that because I didn't really want like a greasy, not that it was too greasy, but a vapor barrier type, you know, just laying around. But yeah, take a look at those. Let's see if I can get them side by side. I thought that there was a minor, very minor variation in those two to my untrained eye. But I thought that might be a difference, and I don't know if those materials are the same and the finishing is different, but the shape was very mildly different on the newer style blade. Now, on these reinforcements, if you look at these reinforcements, I wonder, is that the same material that is specified by the contract? And I'm assuming there's a contract under that number. So I don't know if that's the same material. And again, look at the difference in these two. So you can see that's like a black. Not sure if that's the same wood, just with a different coating. And that's more of the brown wood. And then you can see the lanyard holes, slightly different, right? I mean, maybe a slightly different bevel on there. Looking at those. And I'm just trying to, the word is nitpick, but that's usually used in a negative way. I'm not trying to be negative in any way. I'm just showing the differences. So when you look at these two blades, the attachments, the handguard, and the handles, there is a difference. Now, the sheath made it pretty easy for me. The sheath itself, this is the newer sheath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then one large. So if you look on this guy, this is the older one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then this piece here. So the sheath made it really easy for me to say, this is the same sheath. So whoever sourced this sheath, it's pretty darn close. But you know what? The devil's in the details. The one thing I noticed on the newer sheath and how I can always tell is this fit on the newer sheath from here to here is tighter. And I think that was one of the complaints, the gripes on the original sheaths, that they weren't tight enough. Now if you look at this sheath, dropping it down, blade will not move. It's not sliding out. I don't have it buckled. If you put this in the old sheath, all right, blade slides and you can feel that it's loose. I mean, I can feel that. I can feel how loose it is on the old sheath. And no matter which one that I use, so if I use the old blade, I put that into the new sheath, she's pretty tight. She's pretty tight. She's not going anywhere. So I think what they did is they tightened up that dimension from here to here with the new sheath. And this piece right here was just a good idea by them, because you can see the back of the button where you put the blade in, if you call this a button or a rivet. I'm not sure what you would call it. Maybe a button, more so a button, I guess. Somebody ought to know that too. But you can see the backs of these. Now, this sheath has been decent. It's been really decent, and it's done its job. So every time I'm in and out, that's what she said. Okay, let's stop that now. Every time I'm in and out of the sheath, there's not an issue as far as will it cut the sheath, will it go in, will it, be secure once this is latched. No issues whatsoever. And most of the times you're carrying this knife, this would go onto a belt. So that little bit of, and I just shook that there, that little bit of bop that you have, if you turn this upside down, it's only going to slide out to that amount. So if you can't, some guys like to mount that in reverse. So in other words, like the gravity of the knife helps them assist the draw if you mount a knife upside down. Never a big fan of that. Yeah, I didn't want my knife flying out and losing my knife. I thought in the field that was not a great idea because you reach for your sheath and your knife is gone. But it looks cool when you mount them in reverse, and theoretically it's quicker to draw them, but that's debatable. So sheath, tighter tolerances, blade, shiny, and clearly marked. I think they may have had an issue with imposters. So I think what they're trying to do is tell you, hey, look, this is an official Ministry of Defense blade. And that symbol there under penalty of law called the crow's foot. See, I've learned a lot about these because I know nothing. The crow's foot here that's the British, English, Irish, Wales, UK, Great Britain, Ministry of Defense, all the above. That's their symbol. Okay? So if you see that, and it kind of looks like a little war symbol. Yeah, it could be an arrow, could be a spear, but also it could be three prongs coming down like that, if you look at it that way. There is a history behind that little crow's foot, and the numbers do match. Again, the shine of the blade, I'm not a huge fan of, but like I said, I sent a picture of this to a friend, and he said, wow. So people are going to like that. As far as sharpness goes, some people are saying that, this is a little sharper. I really don't have a way to tell you if it's sharp or not because I used the heck out of the original, and it stayed sharp enough for my hacking jobs that I do with it. I look at this as like a field hatchet. There are modifications you can do to these blades to make them super sharp. There's got plenty of guys out there doing those. They also notch these blades. Not a big fan of that because I have a separate spark kit that I use, and the little spark kits that I have, I've never had an issue with. I've never needed to use a knife because they stay attached. So maybe I'll do that in a future video. And if you need a good field watch, the watch I always have in these videos is the Casio. And this is actually an olive drab timepiece. You can see what time it is here. It's 1:48. Probably going to get some more coffee. But I had a little bit of time. Wasn't super motivated. I apologize for my lack of motivation and getting you out some videos. But I just wanted to show you the differences between my brand new to me, black MOD, and built like a tank. Assume it's an original from Sheffield. Gotta love it. We'll get a scale, compare the two. This is my older model. And again, I'm more of a fan of the Battleship Gray and the wood. Just the original older look. I don't know if that's because I'm old or that's just what I like. But again, I want to get another one of these and I want a flat finish. And I'm looking actually on Sheffield's website into getting another one of these shipped to me from the UK, and I wanted to get this this particular knife here in a flat finish. I honestly don't mind the nice engraving that they've done on here to show you that's their military knife. I kind of dig that actually because it makes it a nice collector piece. But I do want to get one of these in the flat, like Battleship Gray finish that doesn't have, you can see, even under I don't have a lot of light in here shining on that. It's got a pretty decent glare to it. And once you clean this up, oil it down and everything, it's going to make a real pretty presentation piece. Presentation's not necessarily my bag. More into like a field use. Hence my liking too for the gray finish. And more of the original military style. So anyone out there, if you're familiar with these, please like and subscribe and comment also. I usually like my commenters to subscribe if you can. It helps me out. Keeps me motivated. And thank you so much for watching my channel. Hopefully this isn't too long-winded and killed you with too much information. But thank you guys. Enjoy YouTube and be safe out there. Don't be stupid. The MOD UK survival knife. New and old. Gilios 2222 out.